Have you ever pondered the enigmas surrounding the birth of the universe? Hindu cosmology. This captivating perspective is but the first step in our journey, paving the way for an exploration of the cosmological narratives from various religions. As per the profound and elaborate theories of Hinduism, the universe owes its birth to Brahman, the ultimate reality and the wellspring of existence. This divine entity gradually takes form in an intricate cosmic ballet known as Srishti, or picture a universe that has lived an astonishing 155.52 trillion human years. Yet this universe is not a single entity. It is neither the first nor the last, suggesting an infinite cycle of universes being born and eventually meeting their demise. The Taittiriya Upanishad shares a fascinating narrative of creation. Imagine a lotus flower blooming from Lord Vishnu's navel, with Brahma seated on it. On Vishnu's request, Brahma split the flower into 3 parts, creating the heavens, the earth, and the sky. After this act of creation, Vishnu assumed the role of the preserver, while Lord Shiva became the harbinger of destruction, signifying the cycle of birth, life, and death. Our universe, in this perspective, is simply one day in the life of Brahma. Another intriguing account is found in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishads. Here it is said that in the beginning, only the Atman or the universal self existed as the Purusha. Out of loneliness, Purusha split himself into 2, creating a male and a female. From their union all beings were birthed. From the sacrificial fire the Rigvedic deities Indra, Agni, Vayu and the Devas were born, along with animals, plants and humans. Establishing the diverse strata of existence, the Rig Veda, one of the oldest Hindu scriptures, tells the tale of the cosmic egg, or the Hiranyagarbha. In the beginning, darkness was all there was, and within this void floated the golden egg, the seed of elemental existence. From this egg emerged Prajapati, who created the earth, the middle regions, and the sky. The sun, the life-giving force, is equated with this cosmic egg, referred to as the soul or Atman of all creation, the lord of all that moves and stands. In the grand tapestry of Hindu cosmology, the universe's origins are not a singular event, but an eternal cycle of creation, preservation and destruction. A cosmic dance choreographed by divine forces, spun across trillions of human years, and narrated through fables and metaphors that continue to inspire and intrigue. The Hindu theories of the universe's origin remind us of our place within this vast cosmic cycle, and invite us to ponder the mysteries of our existence.
In Islam, the origins of the universe are explained through the concept of Tawheed, or the oneness of God. According to Islamic tradition, God created the universe through a process of divine will and command. This process is known as the command to be, or Amr bil Kawn. Islam is very clear about the belief that Allah was responsible for the creation of the universe. There's no single story of creation, but there are references to it in many places in the Quran. From these it is possible to build a picture. Allah is eternal, and so not bound by the constraints of time. Allah decided to create the universe. Allah, with unlimited power and authority, commanded things to come into being. Allah then made all living creatures, the angels, the planets and the rain, to allow vegetation to grow. Allah sent angels to earth to collect 7 handfuls of soil, all of different colors. With that soil, Allah made the first man Adam, breathing life and power into him. Eve, the first woman, was created from the side of Adam and lived with him in paradise. Adam and Eve disobeyed Allah. They were forgiven but were sent from paradise to the earth which Allah had created. The earth was created to allow Adam and Eve and their descendants, the human race, to live and thrive. It took Allah 6 days to complete the creation of the universe. According to Heliopolitan creation myth, the universe emerged from a vast cosmic ocean of nothingness. For countless eons, the creator sun god Atum had drifted asleep in this primordial sea, which the Egyptians called Nun. Eventually, the creator god awoke and willed a small island to emerge from out of the cosmic sea. From atop this hill, which the Egyptians called the Mound of the First Event, Atum proceeded to call all things into existence, starting with the male god Shu, the air, and the goddess Tefnut, moisture. Next came a 3rd generation of deities in the form of the male earth god Geb and the sky goddess Nut. After further generations, every feature of nature was born, each with a god or goddess to govern it. In Buddhism, the origins of the universe are explained through the concept of dependent origination. This means that all things arise in dependence upon other things. According to Buddhist tradition, the universe was not created by a divine being, but rather is an ongoing process of cause and effect. This process is known as the cycle of samsara, and it is characterized by the three marks of existence: impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Buddhism has no creator god to explain the origin of the universe. Instead, it teaches that everything depends on everything else. Present events are caused by past events, and become the cause of future events. One tale told by the Buddha in the Agana Sutta describes the process of recreation on this grand scale. An old world system has just been destroyed, and its inhabitants are reborn in a new system. To begin with, they are spirits, floating happily above the earth, luminescent and without form, name, or sex. The world in these early stages is without light or land, only water. Eventually, earth appears and the spirits come to taste and enjoy it. Their greed causes their ethereal bodies to become solid and coarse and differentiate into male and female, good-looking and ugly. As they lose their luminescence, the sun and moon come into being. Gradually, the beings fall into further wicked habits, causing themselves, and the earth itself, to become less pleasant. In this way, the Buddha seems to be saying, desire, greed, and attachment not only cause suffering for people, but also cause the world to be as it is. The physical world as we know it, with all its imperfections and suffering, is the product of what the Buddha called dependent origination. The Buddha taught that this was a 12-stage process, a circular chain, not a straight line. Each stage gives rise to the one directly after it. Ignorance, inability to see the truth, depicted by a blind man. Willed action, actions that shape our emerging consciousness, depicted by a potter molding clay. Conditioned consciousness, the development of habits, blindly responding to the impulses of karmic conditioning, represented by a monkey swinging about aimlessly, form and existence. A body comes into being to carry our karmic inheritance, represented by a boat carrying men. The 6 sense organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, touch, and mind. The way sensory information passes into us, represented by the doors and windows of a house. Sense impressions, the combination of sense organ and sensory information, represented by 2 lovers. Sensation, the feelings we get from sense impressions which are so vivid that they blind us, represented by a man shot in the eye with an arrow. Craving, tanha, negative desires that can never be sated, represented by a man drinking attachment. Grasping at things we think will satisfy our craving, represented by someone reaching out for fruit from a tree. Becoming, worldly birth, old age and death. In Judaism, the origins of the universe are explained through the concept of the Torah. According to Jewish tradition, God created the universe in 6 days, with each day representing a different aspect of creation. The first day was the creation of light. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The second day of creation was the separation of the waters. On the second day, God made the sky and called it heaven. The third day of creation was the creation of land and vegetation. On the third day, God put the earth into good shape. At his command, the waters of the earth gathered together at certain places. The waters formed seas and oceans, lakes and rivers, so that in other parts, the dry land became visible. At God's further command, the earth was made to produce all kinds of plants, grass and trees, shrubs and flowers. Each contained its own seed for further growth and reproduction. The fourth day of creation was the creation of the sun, moon and stars. On the fourth day, God made the sun, the moon and the stars to shed light upon the earth. And so he set a time for day and a time for night, a time for the week, the month and the year, and a time for each of the 4 seasons. The fifth day of creation was the creation of fish and birds. On the fifth day, God filled the seas with fishes and other water animals. Into the air above the earth, he put many birds of all kinds and colors and sizes. The sixth day of creation was the creation of animals and humans. On the sixth day were created all the other animals, large and small, those that walk and those that creep or crawl on the earth. And towards the end of the sixth day, God put a divine soul into a body which he made of earth and clay. This was the human. To the human, God granted high mental ability that one could think and reach one's own conclusions. God also gave the human the power of speech, and he made humans superior to all other creatures of the earth. God placed all the creatures of the earth and the powers of nature in the control of the human. By the seventh day, everything was created and put into shape and order, and God rested on the seventh day, and he glorified it as a day of rest. Therefore we should work for 6 days and rest on the seventh day, Shabbat, which God blessed and sanctified for all time to come. By observing the Shabbat day, we show that we believe in God as the creator of the world. In Greek mythology, the origins of the universe are explained through the concept of chaos. According to Greek tradition, the universe was created through a process of divine birth and succession. The first gods to emerge were Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky, who gave birth to the Titans, who in turn gave birth to the Olympian gods. This process of divine succession is known as the theogony. In the beginning there was chaos, a yawning nothingness. Out of the void emerged Gaia, the earth, and other divine beings. Eros, love, the abyss, part of the underworld, and the Erebus, the unknowable place where death dwells. Without male assistance, Gaia gave birth to Uranus, the sky, who then fertilized her. From that union the first Titans were born, 6 males, Coeus, Creus, Cronus, Hyperion, Iapetus and Oceanus, and 6 females, Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Rhea, Theia, Themis and Tethys. After Cronus, Time was born, Gaia and Uranus decreed no more Titans were to be born. Cronus castrated his father and threw the severed genitals into the sea, from which arose Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty and sexuality. Cronus became the ruler of the gods with his sister wife, Rhea, as his consort. The other Titans became his court. Because Cronus had betrayed his father, he feared that his offspring would do the same. So each time Rhea gave birth, Cronus snatched up the child and ate it. Rhea hated this and tricked him by hiding one child, Zeus, and wrapping a stone in a baby's blanket so that Cronus ate the stone instead of the baby. When Zeus was grown, he fed his father a drugged drink, which caused Cronus to vomit, throwing up Rhea's other children and the stone. Zeus then challenged Cronus to war for the kingship of the gods. At last, Zeus and his siblings, the Olympians, were victorious, and the Titans were hurled down to imprisonment in the abyss. Zeus was plagued by the same concern as his father had been, and after a prophecy that his first wife, Metis, would give birth to a god greater than he swallowed Metis. But she was already pregnant with Athena, and they both made him miserable until Athena, the goddess of wisdom, civilization and justice, burst from his head, fully grown and dressed for war. Zeus was able to fight off all challenges to his power and to remain the ruler of Mount Olympus, the home of the gods. One son of Titans, Prometheus, did not fight with fellow Titans against Zeus and was spared imprisonment. He was given the task of creating man. Prometheus shaped man out of mud, and Athena breathed life into the clay figure. Prometheus made man stand upright as the gods did and gave him fire. Prometheus tricked Zeus, and to punish him, Zeus created Pandora, the first woman, of stunning beauty, wealth, and a deceptive heart and lying tongue. He also gave Pandora a box she was commanded never to open, but eventually her curiosity got the best of her, and she opened the box to release all kinds of evil plagues, sorrows, misfortunes, and hope.